David, is it inevitable now, from what you can see and the build-up of the US forces, that Trump will strike Iran?
He's certainly putting everything in place to take action if he needs to. I mean, working backwards, what's got observers concerned here is that it's unclear what Trump's objective is. Rule number one, if you go to war, is have a very, very clear objective. They don't seem to have that. The most credible one is that they are simply putting pressure on Iran to do a satisfactory deal over the nuclear program, to end their nuclear program, and perhaps end ballistic missile production and support for proxies on the side. The problem with that is that to the Iranian regime, which is very weak at the moment and quite desperate and sees this as an existential threat, it's very hard to look at all of that firepower on their doorstep and conclude anything other than that the Americans want regime change.
Because Trump would be, he would have some telling him, this is your best chance.
Yeah.
If you want to wipe out that regime, the number one global sponsor of terrorism, now's the moment.
Yes, and that is true, except that weakness can also mean desperation, and they may lash out, and they do have ways to lash out at American interests, Israel, this kind of thing as well. The big problem is that it's very difficult to change a regime from the sky. What they're bringing into place here is air power. There are no boots on the ground. Saying we are going to topple the regime and bring something in that is going to be a better replacement, very, very hard to do from the air. Certainly never been done before. It'll be the mother of all of experiments if that's what they're trying to do now.
We've got a fascinating standoff right now between, on another front, the Pentagon and Pete Hegseth, the Defence Secretary, and the AI company Anthropic.
Yep.
It really is a high-stakes standoff. Just explain to our viewers a bit of background on this, because it is super interesting.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating story. So Anthropic's one of the big three AI companies. They're one of the most advanced in the world. They have an existing contract to provide classified level AI capabilities to the Pentagon. They're the only company currently doing that. Contract is up for renewal. Pentagon and Pete Hegseth, the Defence Secretary, say, we want you to agree that we can use this for all lawful purposes. Anthropic is uncomfortable with either using it for quote-unquote killer robots, i.e. fully autonomous lethal capabilities.
Or domestic use.
Correct, or domestic surveillance, mass surveillance.
Right.
Not unreasonable demands. Pentagon isn't happy with that. Pete Hegseth is now threatening Anthropic, unless you agree to what we're asking, we won't just cancel the contract, we will either employ something called the Defence Production Act, which is a law that would allow them to basically step in and compel Anthropic to do what the Pentagon wants.
Like nationalise it.
A mini form of nationalisation, if you could put it that way.
Wow.
Or declare them a supply chain risk, which would put them in the same basket as, say, a Chinese or Russian company, and basically make it very difficult for Anthropic to do business.
This is a huge fight now between the tech bros, so to speak, and...
Yep, and it's
Pentagon,
widely
and the White House.
it's counterproductive from the Trump administration, frankly. It sends a terrible signal to the tech industry, saying that we will bully you and coerce you if you do not do what we say, if you do business with us. There's also an interesting longer-term discussion that will come out of this, which is, if the AI industry is building kind of super intelligence, which is what they're talking about, almost sort of godlike intelligence that will be as good as anyone at anything and can be used, and can improve itself and all this kind of thing, is that something down the track that you want to be entirely in the hands of the private sector, or is there a role for the state, for the government as well? That's a longer-term conversation that I think will continue from this and won't go away.
Yeah, indeed. And this is right at the leading edge of that conversation in a fractious way with the military right now. Thank you, David Wroe. We appreciate your insights as always. Thanks.
No worries, Kieran.